Hello everyone, SirMonkeySuit Azabi here, back again with Kuroko in a Basket Season 2. We are on episode 13, and in the last episode, at least for the first half, you could consider it just a one-off onsen episode where nothing much really happened, but then we got into the second half of the episode, and all of a sudden we know exactly where we're going, what we're doing, most importantly who we're facing first, which is going to be Toho. So we're talking about getting revenge quickly, which I really hope we do. I'll be fucking surprised beyond belief if we just get knocked out again. And it's just like, well, that's that. You know what I mean? I just can't see it happening that way. But regardless of what happens in that match, it doesn't matter because we're not there yet. However, what is happening right now is Kagami's going back to America for some reason. I mean, the only thing that I can really guess is he's going back to America to sort of practice against like sort of more physical opponents, you know what I mean? Like considering how, you know, it sounds like I might be like just digging out, you know, the Japanese for like their basketball skills here. I don't mean that in that way. I just mean that, like, you know, obviously America is the home of that sport, so you know what I mean. I feel like that's the only reason he'd be going back to America. And then other than that, we had Riko's dad, who goes by the name of Kagetora, who played for the Japanese national team for basketball, is training everyone now. So training all the other guys in sort of these individual skills. You know what I mean? I like what he said about, you know, the fact of like Toho is still actually a better team than Seirin. I was about to say Karasuno there. You know what I mean? It's just, this is gonna happen. I just know it's gonna keep happening. I'm gonna, you know, call Seirin Karasuno. I'm gonna call Karasuno Seirin when I'm watching Haikyuu. It's gonna be mad. But anyway, I do like the fact that he obviously pointed that out, because even though Toho is considered this team of individuals, their team play still works because of how sort of good each player is on their own. This was obviously something that was brought up, you know, further back, like in season 1, I think. Yeah, it was season 1 where obviously they got knocked out by Toho, and then you had Kagami and Kuroko work separately to you know, to sort of increase their individual skills in whatever way they needed to, and then when they come back together, they're ultimately stronger. The thing is that with the other members of the team, they didn't do that. So by, you know, training the other members of the team to be able to have some sort of ability that they're able to, you know, like sort of shoehorn into the team, it allows like all of them to come together and be just more compact, a better team altogether. Because at the end of the day, I have said this before, and because obviously this whole thing with Seirin and Kuroko is all about, like, you know, it's all about the team and everything like that, that they kind of did shove away the idea of individual brilliance, which is kind of like, I always felt was a bit wrong in a sense, because basketball is, you know, that there is room for a lot of individual brilliance on the court, and you know, it's like, yeah, your team is there to help you out, but a lot of the time, you know, sometimes you need someone to dig you out of a period where, you know, the team's playing badly. One person can pull the rest of the team through that bad patch, and we saw that with Kagami when he went up against Shotoku the first time round, and you know, even though that ended, you know, in Kuroko punching him and everything like that, and Kagami saying sorry, if he hadn't have done that, they probably wouldn't have been able to beat Shotoku. So there are, you know, you have to allow that sort of individual brilliance to shine through in certain moments of the game. So having them practice all of this will be worth it in the end. And I like the way that it's seemingly going. So yeah, it's going to be cool to see what everyone's individual ability will turn out to be. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I don't think we need to talk about anything else. So we're going to get straight in episode 13. So if you do want to go watch the actual reaction, link is in the description below. There's also the link to the full length if you want to watch the episode in full and not just the 10-minute cut version. Then the offer is there for you. But yeah, nothing else to really talk about. So we're going to get into episode 13, see what we get. So without further ado, let's go. Okay, episode 13, and we begin right now. I wasn't expecting that. I thought it might have gone another episode where we had like a training episode. We saw more of Kagami in America, but that wasn't it at all. So I assume that they're gonna be used in exposition then, like whenever, you know, any of the teammates pull out something that, you know, we the audience was not expecting. it'll shoot back to, you know, the month that they were training with Kagetora, and you know, and that's how they'll end up doing it. And I assume that this Ignite past Kai, whatever that means, is obviously something that Kuroko was working on during that month. I mean, the interesting thing was that Kagetora specifically said that Kuroko was about to hit a wall, and if he could surpass that, then, you know, it's up to him to be able to do that. And I don't know if this Ignite past Kai, whatever it means. I mean, I don't even know what it could mean. You know, I mean, the Ignite pass is like, the Ignite pass is essentially something that is supposed to be used when the ball's on the move, right? But the interesting thing is, it's kind of like, this is coming straight from Kuroko, like, having the ball. It's not like on its trajectory already. Like, he has the ball and he's doing it from a standing position. So I don't know how that changes anything. Like, the ball still, it's only really going to go one way, right? I don't know how. I don't know. I haven't really seen Kagami at the start of this match. And seeing as only Kagami and Kiyoshi are the only two that can really, you know, like, receive those passes, I don't know. I mean, I don't even know where to begin with that. I have no idea. Because I don't know what Kai relates to, you know. It's not an English word, so. But yeah, so Toho came out swinging. They never underestimated. Best way to be. That means there's no excuses, right? No excuses going through. Not that, you know, oh shit, we're underestimated you at the start. None of that. From the get-go, all out. It's very reminiscent of the second game with Shotoku, the way that started. It just went, like, you know, straight out of the gate. Both teams just going at it as hard as they can. So yeah, and then we had Kagetora, sorry, talking about the other the other coaches, essentially. So obviously the one down in there that's coaching Toho, and then the dude that's coaching Shutoku as well. So all the coaches know each other, but obviously the interesting part about that was the Shutoku coach, like, you know, being surprised when Kagetora said that he'd been coaching Seirin. That obviously means something insane. I mean, we know that obviously he was a player for Japan, so obviously in terms of playing, his experience will be invaluable to a high school team. But it seems like it could be on another level, which is what it's going to have to be anyway in order for Seirin to beat Toho, so it entirely makes sense. And then if we go back to the very beginning of the episode, we had, so there's a sister school out in LA that is tied to Seirin in Japan and a study abroad program, the reason why Kagami can go back and forth between them and whatnot. And apparently Kagami had a master with someone that we haven't seen yet. Again, it's going to be something that ends up being an exposition, I feel like. But yeah, that's going to be interesting to see in regards to that. And then yeah, so when the training was going on for the slight bit that we actually had it in this episode, it was interesting. Like, you know, Kagetora actually said that, you know, the likes of Kagami and sort of Kuroko, like, you know, he can't coach Kuroko because he's what he referred to as a mutant, or like essentially he's this enigma of a player that's completely unlike any other. Therefore, he doesn't know how to coach him. He leaves him to his own devices, and if this Kai thing works, then it's, you know, he can do it on his own anyway. Kagami's obviously off doing his own thing. He's not training with Kagetora anyway, so that doesn't matter. But what he was saying was, like, you know, the first years, alright, they probably can't like, you know, gain this new ability within a month's time. However, the second years, he pointed out the fact that Hyuga and Izuki, I think it's Izuki, I think, right? They just, you know, there's so many names now. I can't fucking hell, so many names to remember, dude. Izuki has the eagle eye thing, and he pointed it out like almost as if they don't need to work on that. So I don't know if they have gained any new abilities. However, the second years that he did specifically point out with the other three, so Mitobe, Kogane, and Tsuchi. So it's going to be interesting to see those, like, you know, what they're able to pull out, because, like I said, even though Mitobe was for a good chunk of time, he was actually like a starting player for the team before Kiyoshi came in, and other than the hook shot, he never really had anything else. You know, so it's going to be nice to see him obviously get in on the action. Kogane as well, like someone who can shoot from anywhere, jack of all trades. Like, what could his ability be? You know, Tsuchi's good at rebounds, so there's that. But then it's like, how do you use those two in conjunction with a new ability? Whether it's doing something completely different or not, I don't know. But yeah, so there's that, and then of course I left this bit for last because I just can't even get my head around like how Akashi is a fucking nut job. He's fucking insane. Like, he legitimately just attacked Kagami. Like, he could be done for that. Like, Jesus. Like, he even said, like, oh my god, you were able to dodge that, almost as if, like, if he hadn't have done, like, that could have been deadly, for fuck's sake. I mean, Jesus. I thought it was going to be a thing where he grabbed the scissors and he would have, like, you know, fired it past him, but, you know, him doing it on purpose to miss just. I didn't think he was actually going to fucking slice him, you know? But, you know, because at the end of the day, he's the point guard, right? So, if anything, he can see things. I mean, we've seen that before to, like, a minute degree, where Akashi was, I think it was, when was it? Was it in the OVA where we saw, I think it was, right? Where we saw how Akashi was, like, looking at certain players and almost telling them to do stuff. I mean, he's a point guard, right? But everything that in terms of, like, abilities of what every other one of the Generation Miracles has, Akashi seems to be, like, he can see everything sort of like what, similar to what Azuki and Tako can. So, you know, there's something with that. I mean, it's kind of a giveaway, the fact of, like, he's got this off eye that's, like, orange for whatever reason, you know what I mean? So, you know, makes sense that that's what it would be. But yeah, so he summoned all the Generation of Miracles. For some reason, Rico sent one of the other first years along with him, as if, like, he was going to get done in. Like, you know what I mean? But, you know, Akashi seems to have summoned them for one reason only, and that is to make sure that people that they keep their promise. Now, obviously, the promise hasn't been said, but the likelihood is, I think it's everyone brings their full A game when they go against each other, and that's it. You know, but you know, I had a feeling that, like, Kagami was going to show up. I didn't say it before he came up, but, like, at one point I was about to say, like, this would be, like, the perfect time for Kagami to show up. You know what I mean? Because he isn't one that is summoned, but he is the one breaking through. Like, you know, he's on the verge of getting there. So, you know, and he did actually show up. And, you know, and Akashi did make quite a statement, you know. But yeah, I mean, it says a lot as well, the fact that, you know, Midorima gave his scissors to Akashi, wouldn't give them to Murasaki Bara. So it's one of those things where Akashi holds the respect of all of the other Generation of Miracles. Like, it's at a point where I don't even know if Awamine would, like, you know, ever turn him down for anything, you know, which definitely just says a lot. It's going to be interesting, man. I can't wait for his game, because how he plays is going to be, like, so interesting. I mean, speaking of which, we did, I think the other two that we saw with him in the gym, I assume that those two are also from Rakuzan. You know, I mean, we didn't get a lot. We didn't even get to see the guy that was sitting down. You know, but he was talking about how, you know, he doesn't seek victory. It's just something that happens as naturally as breathing. Like, it's just a natural victory for him. That's something that is sort of inevitable. So that's what he doesn't have to seek it in that regard. You know what I mean? Like, it's so easy. Like, if you miss it, like, for whatever reason, if you miss the other like, you know, him talking about, you know, the you know, it's as like natural as breathing or anything like that. Is like, if only you saw the one subtitle that just said, you know, he doesn't seek victory, it could easily just throw you off and just like make you think, what does he play it for then? What does he do? You know, but yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting, that match. So I can't wait for that one. Other than that, there's nothing else really to talk about. The only other thing was the Autumn National Meet, which I don't know what that is, but it definitely didn't show up in this show. But it takes place between, you know, the Inter High and the Winter Cup, and we never saw it. So I don't know is that like an optional tournament or what? I don't know, because they just said there was the 3 major tournaments. And as soon as they said that, I was like, wait, what? It was like 3? I'm sure there was only 2. So then, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's something we'll see at some point. I don't know. I'll be surprised because, you know, we've got, you know, we're in the latter half of season 2 now. And then we've got, you know, and then we've just got season 3. The thing is that, like, you know, even if we go out the Winter Cup, we've got the Inter High to do. So, you know, we'd have to go through that again. But yeah, the Autumn National Meet took me off guard. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I've got. So thank you everyone for watching. In the description below, I've linked to certain things. One of them is the Discord, so you can get yourself over there if you wish. And I also have a Patreon page as well, so if you do want to support me on Patreon, that'd be very much appreciated. There is a bunch of different tiers and rewards there, like early access, for example. $5 a month gives you access to shows a week early. And yeah, that goes for this show, obviously, as well. 2 episodes early. So obviously episode 14 will come out the same time as this episode for the public. If you want to get access to episode 15 and 16 right now, then you can do by going over there and becoming an early access tier patron. There's also the full length tier if you want to watch any of my reactions in full and not just the 10-minute cut version. And then there's the exclusive tier where you can watch reactions to my movies and things like that. So, you know, when I start reacting to movies and stuff, which is coming up very, very soon. So yeah, that is all I've got. So thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.